As many people often say, my family didn't have much money when we were growing up. We never had the name brand clothes or the newest, coolest this or that. What we did have was a close-knit, loving family. Instead of going on expensive vacations where we fly somewhere awesome and live out of hotels, we had the Colorado mountains. Growing up near the Rocky Mountains, my dad introduced us to mountain getaways at an early age. It seemed like nearly every weekend of the summer was spent in a tent in the woods. It was a cheap way to get away, and we loved it. My brother and I would become little pyros, throwing anything we could find into the campfire. Watching things ignite and burn, then eventually melt, made us feel like we were getting away with something we shouldn't be doing. At night, my siblings, parents, and I would squeeze into a tent, probably a bit too small for so many people. We kids would roll around in our sleeping bags, giggle, and tell jokes. Then as we settled down, my dad would make up these incredible stories that always made us crack up again. We would always camp at different places in the mountains, but there was always one thing in common: we were always by a lake. This was because my dad loved to fish. As far back as I can remember, my dad had been a fisherman. He always used his lucky fishing pole, a faded yellow eagle claw 2-piece rod. His bait of choice was always a worm, with an occasional grasshopper if the water was just right. I remember following him up and down the high mountain streams, watching from a small distance as he crept up to a deep fishing hole. He would crouch down real low and, like a ninja, would commence a sneak attack on the fish that they never saw coming. He was a master at his craft, and he was always happy to share all of his secrets. As I grew older, like any boy, I wanted a little more independence. This meant I wanted to go fishing on my own. I'm sure my dad was a little uneasy about the thought of his 10-year-old son on his own near a river, but he trusted me, and he let me go anyway. This is when my love for fishing really took over. In the 5th grade, my best friend Andrew shared the same passion for fishing as I did, probably why we were best friends. After school each day, we would ride our bikes down to the river that ran through town, hide the bikes in a bunch of bushes, and get our feet in the water. Sometimes we would fly fish, sometimes we would use lures, but we usually wouldn't catch fish either way. As we grew older, Andrew and I parted ways, but I kept my love for fishing. As the years went on, I kept on fishing the river and learning from it. I got to the point where I could almost read the water and know where the fish would be. It was fun going fishing with a buddy and totally annihilating them with my fishing count compared to theirs. A while back, I asked my dad to go fishing with me on the river. We started in the late afternoon and fished until it got dark. I caught more fish than he did. I didn't mention it though. I didn't need to rub it in, especially since he was soaked from slipping and falling into waist-deep water. After that trip, I couldn't help thinking, the student has now become the teacher. Now that I have become a husband and a father, I want to pass on my love for fishing and the great outdoors to my family. I want them to have the same great memories as I had growing up. I want them to know that family time shouldn't be about how much money is spent or how extravagant a vacation is. It's about the people. It's about the memories you create. It's about the love and passion for something that you can instill into the next generation of kids. At my daughter's first birthday party, she received her first fishing pole. A few days later, we went fishing on a little pond near our house. I don't think she had a clue what was going on, but she did catch a little fish about 3 inches long. I held it up to her and she stared at it and poked it a little. As she stared at the little fish, I couldn't help but wonder if this was the beginning of a lifelong passion for her too.